South Australian region called McLaren Vale. We are in a sub-region of McLaren Vale called Seaview, which is really the southern slope. So this vineyard here is more north-facing, but it actually backs down into the Onkaparinga Gorge. Now the Onkaparinga Gorge is pretty important, or fairly significantly important geologically wise, because it shows a lot of history over the years, but the history dates back to probably over 500 million years ago. We've done a lot of research in McLaren Vale as to the geological strata going back those years, so we can understand our soils going forward to the current period, even though 500 million years ago it was way down there, but it created the conditions that we see now in our growing conditions. This area up here, it's on a gravelly ironstone, and then in some of the little dips in there goes to sandy loam and various other things, but the Grenache that comes out of here, and she's electric, is more or less on the gravelly ironstone. The vines were planted, I would say probably back in the early 50s, being bush vines. They weren't on any trellis or anything. And then further down the back there's olive trees, but they're sort of all turned feral now anyway, but we're just concentrating on grapes here. I guess from a growing point of view, we let the vines actually express themselves, particularly in the Grenache. We don't use any chemicals or herbicides. The only thing we do is during fungicides we just use sulphur and copper, which is there to keep the funguses under control. But the wine coming out of here is probably, it has probably a minerally tone to it, which is slightly different to the Blewett Springs area, which is a sandy, more elegant sort of style. The wine that comes out of here, the Grenache, the wonderful Grenache it is called She's Electric. Now there's a little bit of a story behind this, and you might not believe it, but trust me, it's true. So I got a call one night on a Saturday, probably back in late 2000s, 2006 or so, and it was a fire chief from the local CFS. Now he rang up and he said, because I know him, he said, "Oh Ben, there's a fire up here in the vineyard," and I said, "How on earth did that start?" And he said, "Well, it's a bird that got electrified on the power line that fell down and started the fire." And I thought, come on, pull the other leg. But anyway, I came up here the following a couple of days later after the fire got put out, big burnt patch in the vineyard and what have you. And I went to find where the fire source there, and lo and behold, there was a bird there that was burnt. It looked like it was in a cartoon with bones sticking out. It was absolutely fried. So apparently what happened is that the power lines that run through here are high voltage, and when the power goes off, periodically, but when it comes back on, the power spikes, and sometimes you see little bits of electricity going. The poor old bird was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and when that happened, he caught on fire and fell to the ground and started the fire. Now trust me, it's a true story. I know it's a little bit unbelievable, but it is true. That's how we got the story there, and that's what's on the label and what the wine is named after.